Sri Lanka has launched a new tourism campaign to show off its breathtaking scenery and historic monuments. But behind these images is the reality of a country scarred by ongoing civil war. Hundreds of thousands have been forced to abandon their homes and their country in the conflict between the government and the separatist Tamil Tigers.
I think Sri Lanka's situation is extremely volatile. There's more than 160,000 people who are displaced, who are caught between the government forces and between the rebel Tamil Tigers forces.
Last 2 months' time, there are 8,000 innocent people who was killed by the Sri Lankan forces.
Both sides of the conflict, that civil war, are behaving in brutal ways, and that the government is winning the conflict and showing no signs of making concessions to civilian Tamils.
Displaced Tamil civilians have been ushered into transit camps, which, according to Tamil refugee advocate Wiki Wickramasingam, are open prisons.
These transit camps look like a prison, you can see here, because via rope you can't have any communication with your relatives or friends or any NGOs, and you will have to be in the open prison for years. They say they are going to keep them for more than 3 years.
With such dire human rights abuses in Sri Lanka, Australia and other countries are faced with both an ethical and legal obligation to offer protection.
They've been driven away by threats of persecution or death, and Australia, as a signatory of human rights conventions, has a responsibility to accept them.
Thousands of Tamil civilians have been killed in recent fighting.
When you counted in Melbourne, each family has lost at least 2 members in the war. So every Tamil is affected in Sri Lanka. So the current year is the worst period for the Tamil community.
The abolition of the temporary protection visa has made it easier for asylum seekers to gain protection in Australia. Some argue that this makes dealing with people smugglers more attractive than going through official channels. But in the chaos of civil war, many find these impossible to access.
There is no other way. They can come only by boat. Australian government should open a program for humanitarian program for Sri Lankan Tamils who are affected from war. Then the boat people will stop.
It's very, very difficult to say that those people might have had another option, but they chose to take the risky option of coming to us by boat because it doesn't make sense. Most of them would have chosen the orderly manner had they found that there is actually an avenue for them to pursue.
Unlike most countries, Australia counts asylum seekers towards its yearly refugee intake.
When we take 4,000 asylum seekers who come by boat, we take that off the offshore intake. So in a way we're penalizing, and that's why there's debate about are these people are taking places of others. Whereas other countries don't do that. They separate between refugees and asylum seekers.
With no solution in sight to the 40-year conflict, it will be a long time before Sri Lanka is restored to peace.
It's not a solution that can be negotiated in a month or a year. These are incremental steps towards solutions that will take many years, and the consequences of what has happened in those countries will last for generations. It's not something that will even be resolved after 10 years, even if the violence ceased now.
Stuart Winthrop, Newsline.